Well, Adam, here we are at Meadowbank after losing 3-1 this afternoon. Can I get your overall reflection of the game first?
I'm trying to forget it really quickly and focus on the next 15 points that we need to win. I think that's a mindset we have to be in today. It was frustrating, the overall feeling was. I thought we, at times in big moments, we showed too much naivety. The really frustrating thing for me today is we've conceded 3 goals and arguably all 3 are mistakes, and that's the biggest kick in the gonads for me, because we knew what to expect. The first goal comes from exactly what we'd worked on, what we'd spoke about. I don't think, it's not an excuse, but I don't think the bounce of the pitch helped Joe. It stopped when he expected it to run through, but again, we expect that when you come here. It's like at our place, you expect the pitch, so it's not an excuse. But I was just really disappointed in the naivety we've shown in the big moments. I think they showed they had a lot of experience on the pitch, and I think that showed at times. But it's one of them. We've been on an unbelievable run. I think we've lost 3 in 25 or something crazy, and we brush ourselves down. There's a lot to play for. We've been saying it for the last few weeks that every Saturday everybody will come into the changing room. They all check the leagues, every team checks the results, and there's always a shake, there's always a move, and that'll be the case for the next 5 weeks. And we just got to make sure that we can keep putting points on the board and keep pushing, because there'll be more shakes in this league, and we've seen it already this season, that when you think someone's gone, all of a sudden they're back in the mix again. So we'll stay focused. The big thing in these moments, and experience tells me that you have to cut emotion out of all of it. Once you have emotion in these moments, you become vulnerable in your decision making. So we know what we needed to do better today. We didn't do it. I've said to the boys, you've got 24 hours to feel sorry for yourself, and if you need to have a good look in the mirror and analyse your own game and what you need to do better. But then we're done and dusted, we move on.
Looking back on today, what was it at half time? Because the 2 changes and then obviously straight on the front foot and a cracking goal from Courtney.
I just felt first half, and look, this isn't a dig at the players, because they've been great. They've been so good, and because we're such a young team, some of the guys have never been in this situation before. They've never been going for a title, so they're learning what it takes. It's harsh to say they don't know, because they will know, but they're learning what it takes to win. You can't coach that, you can't give that someone. You have to go through that process, and I just felt first off we froze. Too many of our big players froze, and that stopped our flow, that stopped our rhythm. We went into safe mode, which when you go into safe mode, when you're a team like us, it makes you look vulnerable, and at times we look vulnerable because we were overthinking. And these boys have to understand that when they back themselves and they play with the spirit that they have, we'll win football matches, don't matter who we play. So the frustration for me first half was we froze a little bit in our play, which allowed them into the game. Second half we put a couple of the older heads on, which I think we've seen probably the benefit of their experience, putting us on the front foot. We're well in the game, but then we concede an awful goal, and again it's an error, and that can't happen from the free kick to the first ball to the second ball to the not defending the knockdown, and then it's gone in the front post, which can't happen. So really disappointed in the goals today. But in our small period here, we're going to try and win a football league. We're going to try and win it. That's what we're going to try and do. But if we don't, and we have to go through the playoffs, we have to make sure games like this we learn from. Because if we go into big games and we've learned, ultimately we'll end up in a really good place. So lots of learning for the boys. I hope that's the most important thing. Frustration, but I'll drive home, dust it off, and be ready for the next one.
I say the next one now is obviously Weymouth at home next Saturday. How important is it to bounce back?
It's not important just because we've lost a game of football. It's important because it's the next game, and we're going for a promotion. So for us, like I say, we're not used to losing, so it comes as more of a shock. But we just focus on us. Nothing could change. We won't do anything different. There'll be no crazy emotions going around the place. Tunnel vision. We stay focused. We know what we're good at. We know when we do what we do, we can beat anyone. And that's what we'll do.
And finally, a word on the supporters. Almost 300 here this afternoon, and their support this afternoon.
Yeah, amazing. I get asked this question after every interview, and I think our fans know how good they are, and we will always give them the credit, because again today I imagine they was as frustrated as me watching it because we just weren't clicking into our rhythm, and when we did, we created chances. So I imagine they were as frustrated as us. But look, we thank them for that backing, and it's important now that we all go again next week. We need to make sure that the great support we got here today is carried on next week, and we have a massive 5 weeks, and what will be will be.
Thank you, Adam.